It sounds like a lot of water sports. Do you have lifeguards?
We actually ask the groups that are coming to provide a lifeguard. If that's not possible, we'll certainly make sure there's a lifeguard present. We have a number of procedures that we have to follow with regard to our risk management policies. So absolutely we'll be maintaining lifeguards. The folks who are operating the climbing wall and the zip line, things like that, are certified. So we're very concerned, obviously, about the safety of our guests. We've been operating the property for over 50 years, and serious injuries is a very rare occurrence. And if it was a common occurrence, we wouldn't be in operation. Other questions?
What are accommodations for the students and the faculty like?
Okay, the accommodations for students are what we call dormitory style. Typically, each room has about 12 beds in it, and it's in a private bath. And then there's a room inside for more than that, but we try to make sure every student has plenty of space available. As far as staff goes, there are separate staff housing quarters. So in all likelihood, the folks who are running some of the seminars, that kind of thing, will have private housing. We ask that groups coming in bring a doctor as well. The doctors and their families generally get private housing as well. So the accommodations are very comfortable. You don't need to worry about bringing a sleeping bag or anything like that. We'll provide linens and towels and pillows and blankets and all that. So all you got to do is show up and your room will be ready for you. Yes, ma'am.
So teachers will be staying with us?
I'm not entirely. We ask that one adult be in a room with every group of students. So whether that's teachers or someone else, I don't know who that's going to be, but that's up to Southpointe. Most non-critical issues can be taken care of on the property, anything from stitches to most medications that would be needed. We have a full stock pharmacy as well. Anything requiring an x-ray or something like that, we will take folks either out by boat or by plane or helicopter if necessary. Again, accidents occur, but they're usually more on a minor scale. Major accidents, we can do flight for life, and we have done that in the past when necessary. But we are by helicopter less than an hour from Vancouver Town. And that's our receiving hospital for any kind of a critical situation. You know, September in Malibu is one of the best kept secrets. The weather is spectacular. It stays nice all the way to October generally. So I can't promise you anything, but I can tell you that generally our weather in September is better than June. You guys know what June's been like this year. But as today, I mean, this is what we have today is what you could very well expect to have in September. If there is any kind of emergency or need, we can certainly be in touch.
What would a typical program for the day be like for activities? Like what would be typical?
Again, a lot of the schedule and the programming is going to depend on what the group wants. But typically we start with breakfast, and then if there's going to be some sort of meeting or break up into seminars, that kind of thing, there's usually ample opportunity for free time. Either in September, we will supply probably about 15 to 20, and then there'll be an additional 25 or so that are brought in. So there'll be about 45 staff on the site, so about 1 to 3, one staff for every 3 guests. What sort of food will be served? I can tell you that some of our typical menu items, we do a Greek chicken dinner one night. For lunches, we have fajitas one day, tacos, chili, spaghetti's commonly served. Our final night of camp is always a bit more of an extravaganza, so it's usually a steak and salmon dinner. Let's see, breakfast, ham, eggs, Red River, oatmeal, pancakes, French toast. So not uncommon fare, but it's, it's done very well. Special dietary needs. During the summer, we typically have about 500 people on the property at one time, and so we see them all. We're very used to dealing with any kind of a food allergy or dietary need, special dietary need that may come up. Whether it's a vegetarian or a pescatarian or whatever you might do. That's someone who only eats.
With the call to breakfast by about 7:45, finishing at 8:30. So your first activity, which of course will be educational based, will probably start at 8:30. Remember that the dynamics of the program is team building, to work as a cohesive group, as well as to bond as independent grades. So although you're all going together, you have to remember that if this camp can handle 500 people, we're only sending 100. So the grade 10s will be in one area and the grade 11s will be in one area. And of course the grads will be in a separate area. So there will be some intermingling.
Like I said, we are situated right on the edge of the Malibu Rapids. So we're actually kind of on a point. And the area that we use is about 26 acres or so. Across the rapids, which are only 40 yards wide, we own about another 600 acres or so up the side of the mountain. So a fair bit of space that we have. Our nearest neighbor is a tremendous friend of Malibu and built a house up there simply because he wanted to be a part of what we're doing each summer, he and his family. And they're a mile away. So we're pretty isolated. The next nearest house is 35 miles in any direction. There's not a lot around us. So you will have plenty of space, and you can be as loud as you like in the evenings, and you won't be bothered anymore.
With activities like that, would there be a number cap off? And how does it typically work? Do students sign up and say, oh, you can only take 10 at a time on a specific activity?
Depends on how you want to do it. If you just want to say, hey, we're going to have 3 hours of free time this afternoon, we'd like the activities open, then we'll kind of do a first come, first served basis. We have, for instance, we have kayaks. We can put 50 people in kayaks at one time. We have, 4 boats. We'll probably running 2 or 3 at a time. So those cycle through pretty quickly. And if we're running the Caribe or the tubes, that's 4 or 5 at a time. So behind 2 boats, that's 9 people at a time going. It'd only take 10 trips to get everybody through.
Specifically through administration, the grade 10s will be doing their planning 10. So at that time, they'll be doing a lot of career goal setting portfolio. Likewise with the grade 11s, the grade 12s will be doing graduation planning and career planning. So of course, our counselor will be going up as well as all of the teachers. That's specific. I think what is to note is you will be getting your informed consent and the first set of forms that need to be returned by the end of next week. They'll be mailed to you and you'll get a self-addressed stamped envelope. So that'll be very simple to return all the forms to me. Then you'll have around the 15th of August, you'll receive your final itinerary and specifics about programming in the mail. So that'll say meet at this point at this time and kind of give parents as well as students a rough idea of what they will be expecting. But again, it is educational based. You will be doing school activities and then you will have the fun breaks of going wakeboarding or sea kayaking or what have you, swimming. So, and there's tons of different opportunities. So some students might not want to go behind a boat, which is great. Well, they'll have the opportunity, like Eric said, to do another part of the component that's available. And with 20-some acres of property, it will be very good to be there.
Yeah, there's plenty of activity, and pretty much any interest you'll find something you really enjoy. I can promise you that.
So if there's no other questions, concerns, this information meeting will be on the website. It'll be a video file, so if you meet up with any other students or parents, it will be accessible. That hopefully will be online by next week. And I'm always available for any questions or concerns. So thank you for coming and thank you very much.